My name is Larry Hester. This gentleman to my left is Bill Croye. He is my assistant service officer at Post 3679, VFW, up on the hill here from Fort Oglethorpe. We are both veteran service officers. That's what we do. We help veterans with claims and questions. Any claim or question that you may have, or anything that you need to know, Bill or I, either one, can help you with it. We've got the handbooks that Bill can show you now. Those are the handbooks that give you all the information that you need to know, or the most of the information you need to know about your benefits for the VA. We've also got the Georgia handbook that tells the disabled veterans and the veterans of Georgia what they can get for being a veteran in the state of Georgia, which is, as most veterans from Georgia know, driver's licenses are free for all veterans in Georgia. If you live in Georgia, you can get a free veteran's driver's license, which is a pretty good deal. And that's all because of Commissioner Pete Wheeler, which has been in the office down there ever since I was born. And I'm not going to tell you how old I am, but he is still the commissioner of the Department of Veterans Affairs for the state of Georgia. And we're not just here to talk about those two things. We're here to talk about veterans issues. Most veterans today coming back from Iraq, Afghanistan, and a lot of these other little small countries that they're sending our young men and women into are coming back, and we're having a lot of claims on post-traumatic stress disorder. Well, post-traumatic stress disorder, it's not a sickness and it's not a disease. You're not crazy. By no means should you ever think in those terms. You may feel like it, but you're not sick, you've not got a disease, and you're not crazy, and you're not bipolar. You've been through a traumatic experience. If you're riding down in a convoy in Iraq or in Afghanistan now, and an IED blows up beside you and blows somebody all to pieces, and you have to pick this person up and put him into a body bag, that is a traumatic experience. That's something you never forget. Bill and I both know these experiences because we were both infantrymen in Vietnam. And that is one of the things that we can help you through if you will come to our post. We're there every Thursday morning, and we usually get there about 8:30, and we stay until the last person comes. We've got all the benefits. I've got a book full of things here. It's just not for Vietnam veterans. You young veterans, and all of you parents and grandparents and brothers and sisters that see this, if you've got a relative that's a Vietnam veteran and he's never been to the VA or he's never enrolled, please tell them to do so now, because we have gotten word, and I can't get a confirmation from Washington, D.C., because trying to get somebody that's involved with the VA to give you a straight answer is like pulling teeth with a screwdriver. You can't do it. I tried yesterday to find out for sure if they're going to cut the Agent Orange thing off. Actually, Agent Orange is just a name for the defoliage that they sprayed on the veterans that were in Vietnam in country. And those men have been plagued for the last 40 years. And actually, the Agent Orange spraying, in my opinion, has killed more men than the whole war did, which was nearly 60,000. Diabetes, systemic heart disease, children with spina bifida, and the list just goes on and on and on. And I met a Vietnam veteran last week And I asked him, I said, are you enrolled in the VA? Nope, I don't want nothing from them. I'm done with the military when I got out. Well, that's fine. If he don't want, that's fine. But what if next week he comes down with diabetes in a bad way and starts losing limbs? His insurance company shouldn't be held responsible. If it's an Agent Orange related thing, the Department of Veteran Affairs should be held responsible. And that's who should be treating this man. And that's why I asked all the parents, friends of Vietnam veterans that have not went to the VA, and it's like pulling teeth. Some of these guys are. Get them to go and get enrolled. They don't have to go over there but once a year for a physical, and it don't cost you nothing. Right now they're turning people down, and I don't understand that. I've been fighting and fussing with them over that because they make too much money. If you put that uniform on, you signed a contract that you would lay down your life for this country. Well, it's a very small thing for them to give you a little ID card stating that you're a veteran eligible to go to the VA now, and they don't want to do it. Now, and I'm not going to get into the political side of that because that's not it. We're going to fight them with the American Legion, the VFW, the Military Order of the Purple Heart, the Marine Corps League, all of them outfits. Our VFW national headquarters is constantly battling with them in Washington for our benefits. And that's what Bill and I do here. We help you with your benefits. Bill's a quiet man. He's not like me. He don't talk a whole lot. But when he does talk, listen. Because he's spent 23, 24 years in the military, and he knows what he's talking about. I didn't stay in there that long, but I've been in this business, and I am a volunteer for about 13, 14 years now, and I learn something new every day. That's why this man here is doing so much better. And I mean, when he first started, he didn't know nothing about it, but he's learning. He's got the book right there, and when he goes and sits down and talks to you, he knows exactly what to tell you. We need people to spread the word. We need all of the mothers and fathers, daughters, sons, brothers. If you got a World War II veteran lives here in Fort Oglethorpe right now that I've got to go see, and that's something I don't do, is go to people's homes. This man's 90-something years old, and I've got to go see these folks. They've got some problems. We've got access at the Department of Veterans Affairs to some health care things that I just learned about yesterday. So by Thursday, I'll know a lot more about it. That elderly veterans, the World War II veterans, are the ones that are just about all gone, and the Korean veterans, the forgotten war. The Vietnam veterans are dropping like flies now, but you young Afghanistan, Iraq, and the Balkans, up in the Balkans, y'all, if you was deployed to any of these places, take advantage of your benefits. Take advantage of your education. Take advantage of the fact that this VFW is a very small organization up until all of these last wars since 2011, or since 9/11. And now all of these young men and women that served in the reserve units because they wanted to serve, but they also wanted to stay home and raise their families, they're all eligible for these organizations. And I feel like we probably got the best one within 50 miles of Fort Oglethorpe, because we do serve our veterans. That's what Bill and I both do. But if I can get Bill to be quiet long enough, I'll tell you about it. Right, Bill?
That's correct. I'd like to talk about this federal benefits for veterans. You notice mine has tabs on it. Vets, come to us and let us help you. It doesn't cost you a dime. We don't charge a cent. That is against our greed. That's against our belief. We're here to help veterans. We're here to help veterans, not VA. We're here to help you get what you're entitled to. And like Sarge was talking a while ago, but I don't want nothing to do with that. I was through with it when I got out of service. Well, you know, that's your choice. That's fine. But do you realize if you was passed, your wife could be entitled to benefits to help take care of her rest of her life, medically and money-wise. A lot of people don't know this. I had a Vietnam vet come in here a while back. 40 years later, held his head down, pulling his little oxygen tank. He would not look at me. His wife was doing the talking. I won't call no names. The only thing I'll tell you, he's a Vietnam vet. And she was asking for help. And I asked her, "Ma'am, have you ever applied for VA benefits?" We didn't know we could. But this is 40 years later. I get up from my desk and I walk around there and he has his head down. And I told him, or asked him, let me correct that, "Why are you holding your head down? Get your head up in this office." And I stuck my hand out and welcomed him home. And tears were just rolling down his wife's face. She said he'd never been told that before. They'd been trying to get by on a little Social Security check, medical. They didn't even know how they was going to pay their rent. That's unexcusable. There is help. She did not even know she could get help. She could be paid to help take care of him. The bad part about it was Erlanger, the doctor at Erlanger gave him only 7 months to live. 7 months. A lot of things went through my mind. I'm sitting there because he's a brother. Vietnam vet has a brotherhood. But we welcome all vets. Any type vet. We also have a lot of information for the female. It's just came out, I just picked up from school. They have a lot of benefits. Lots of benefits. Utilize those benefits. Don't ever think you're getting something for nothing. Your bill is paid. And don't never ask us to take anything. What we enjoy, is when you come back, drop by and let us know maybe you got a pension started. Maybe you got help. That's our payment. And like Sarge says, if I'll shut up, I'll let him do some more talking. Post 3679. Come by and talk to us.
Best way I've ever heard it put, Bill.
Thank you.
Of course, that's what I like about Bill. He's a former Special Forces, and anybody that's ever been in the Army knows all about that. So I won't say no more about that. But I'm proud of him. I'm proud to have him as a trainee, which is a very smart trainee. I've been at this for about 13, 14 years now, and I learn something every day. And he's at the level now to where he can do just about anything I do. And of course, that's the difference between a Marine and an Army guy. You know, they're a lot smarter. But I want to talk about something else too. Also, it's on this Agent Orange issue. We've got problems with the VA on that, and I'm sure all of the sailors that see this and anybody that's related to sailors heard the term blue water and brown water. Well, what it is blue water sailors are the guys that was off the coast mainly on destroyers, things, you know, protecting our aircraft carriers that were offshore of Vietnam and making sure nobody messed with the aircraft carriers. But also during the monsoon season, when they was dropping this Agent Orange defoliage, and then, you know, as the sun come out and it starts pulling this stuff up out of the vegetation into the atmosphere, it goes out to sea, and these guys flying these planes through this mess come back. Well, they have to wash and clean those planes. And those guys, in my opinion, and I'm not a doctor, but in my opinion, they was exposed to Agent Orange just as much as I was when the C-130s flew over and sprayed us like rain. The brown water sailors, and I've got the list, it's a couple of hundred ships I've got a list of that is authorized or that was in the waters off of Vietnam. That's what this big thick book here is. I've got ships and everything in here. If you think your ship is on it or don't know, come see us. We'll tell you. If your ship's on this as a brown water sailor, you're covered under the Agent Orange thing. If you've got diabetes, neuropathy, ischemic heart disease, you're covered. That's a claim that you can file with the VA. And any claim that you file with the VA that is allowed and you're compensated for, that is compensation. That's not pay. That is compensation. It's not taxable. Nobody can even ask you about it. The VA won't even ask you about it because it's none of their business. You do have to fill out forms to get enrolled into the VA. And I've got to get over there tomorrow and get a bunch of them just in case enough people see this where they come by the post and we run out because we've only got a few left. But please do, if nothing else, do your wife a favor. If you're a Vietnam veteran and you've got some of these things I just talked about, like ischemic heart disease, Parkinson's disease, hairy cell leukemia, chronic B-cell leukemia, that's just a few of them. If you've got those things, if you was in a ship that was up in the Mekong Delta, up in the harbor, and you was unloading and getting off the ship and unloading supplies and material to support Bill and I, you're eligible. Don't hang your head. We're never going to let another generation, as long as I'm alive, there ain't nobody going to spit on another veteran. Not in my presence. We will not allow it. The Vietnam veterans have sworn that it will never happen again, what happened to us. And as far as the Vietnamese people, they were doing just what I would do if somebody invaded my country. I'm sleeping on a bed right now made in Vietnam. Best bed I ever had in my life. There's all kinds of things in this book here, the evidence that you need. Wives, if your husband files a claim with the VA and he has presented 100% service connection, then you automatically qualify for what's called CHAMP VA. That is insurance coverage. And if you find a doctor that takes it, and most of them will take it if they take Medicare or whatever it's going to be called after this year, if they take it, you can go to them. My wife is on it, and I don't think we spent over $145 last year, and she had x-rays and this and that and the other, a bunch of things. And we probably didn't spend $150 at the most. That's one of your benefits that you've earned, and your wife, for putting up with you if you're a Vietnam veteran, has earned. Because some of the Vietnam veterans are very hard to put up with. As Bill can probably tell you, it was an awful place to be. Iraq, Iran, Somalia, all of those places. Any man that was over there that went in and seen all this trauma and everything, if you've got a problem, they've got tons and tons of counselors they're bringing in over here at the VA clinic right now to try to guide you through this. Don't never be ashamed to ask for help for something that wakes you up at night and scares you out of your pants. It's natural. It's a natural thing. I fought with it ever since 1967 and did not realize there was any help available until I met a man named Harry Jackson at the vet center here in Brainerd. And in my opinion, that man saved my life and a lot of other people's. He's very good at what he does. The vet center's there. It's free. The VA is there. If you're not service connected, it's not free. You'll have to pay a copay, which I disagree with too, but I'm not a politician. Please come see us. If you have questions, we're there every Thursday. If it gets so heavy that we can't do it all on Thursday, we may start up another day. That might get me killed at home, but it's all right, folks. We love our veterans. We want you to come to our post for help. You don't have to be a member. And the women, women have problems now too. I haven't spoke on that much because a lot of women don't want to come to a man to talk about it, but I'm well aware of some of the problems that women have because I've talked to women veterans. And I kind of like what Dr. Field said yesterday. I think no man should ever lay his hands on a woman, and no woman has to put up with it. And it's the same way in the military. You don't have to put up with it. You got to go to your commanders. And if you had to put up with it and you're out and it's bothering you, come see us. You don't have to talk to me, but when you come see me, I will send you to a person that can help you. It's just that simple. We know the people over at the VA. Bill and I both do. And we've got a really great working relationship with them. They're a bunch of hard-working, overworked, underpaid, and squished in a little small building, which is they've been promising for 14, going on 15 years to build us a super clinic here in the Chattanooga area. And you know how politics are. They got the money to give to our enemies, but not to build for our veterans here in Chattanooga. And that, I hope every veteran that sees this writes their congressman and their senator. You don't have to write Johnny Isaacson. He already knows about it. He's been fighting for it for a long time. But, you know, I don't know what else to do. I called the secretary's office yesterday to find out about this Agent Orange thing ending at the first of the year. And the man would not return the call. They never answered the phone. The people in Nashville, the people in Murfreesboro couldn't tell me. I called St. Louis. They'd give me a phone in Kansas City, and they couldn't tell me anything. But it's in this month's American Legion and VFW magazine. So I believe them before I believe until I hear it from Shizeki's mouth. No, I mean, we're just here to help you guys and girls, young ladies. And please come see us. Our post is always open on Thursday, and you're welcome to come see us the second Saturday morning of every month. Every second Saturday, we have our monthly meeting. We have a great breakfast. We got a great bunch of people up there, young and old alike. You're welcome to come. It won't cost you a penny. Breakfast is free. We try to help. We used to have a pantry, but we just could not keep it up. So we give all the food that we get now to, I swear I forgot what church it is they give it to down here because I wasn't privy to that information. But anyhow, we want you to come, and if you need to answer questions answered, come see us. Because between me and him both, and that cell phone that I left at home, we will find out an answer for everything except the Agent Orange, because they won't answer the phone in Washington, D.C. and they won't call you back. That's wrong. They should have called me. They should tell me. And I'm going to find out before the week's up, one way or another. I'll sick Bill on them. He'll talk them to death.
I have a lot of, I'd like to talk about on that subject. I meet up with Agent Orange. Neuropathy, waist down. Neuropathy comes up, it doesn't go down. I'm already getting it in my hand. They took cancers off of me, stents in my heart, kidneys down to 45, and still in my legs, and I still have a few fragments in the back. I've been carrying for a long time. That's beside the point. Let me advise you something, wise vets. Get them up. Get them moving. Because if something was to happen, you'll have an income. And, you know, you've already paid the bill. I can't say enough for veterans. If you're not for a veteran, I don't know you. Veteran Day's coming up. You know, it never hurts to walk up to a veteran, shake his hand, thank him. That's all the Vietnam vets ask for. Just a welcome home, thank you. Well, that's been a long time ago. And, you know, I don't hold no grudges, but I hope that never happens again. That's why the Vietnam vets are so big on this. Don't want to be spit on, don't want rocks thrown at you, don't want to be called every name in the book. I wasn't in the Marine Corps, I was in the Army, so I didn't know some of those things they were saying. But think about it. Think about your future. All you have to do is come by and talk to us. And ladies, if you've had a husband deceased and from some disease from the military, Agent Orange, come by and talk to us. You may be entitled to a pension. We have several that has came by. They were entitled and they didn't know it. It's a sad thing to sit behind that desk because I can't do more. Sarge feels the same way. If I could reach across that desk and touch someone, then it all go away. It wouldn't be a problem, but that's not the way it works. Come by and see us. We'll fight for it. And it doesn't cost you a dime. Sarge?
One thing I forgot to mention was ALS. ALS, better known as Lou Gehrig's disease. That's one of the new things covered under the Agent Orange Act. If you know of a Vietnam veteran that has ALS and he's not kept informed and all, and you know, the only way to keep informed on things like this is people like us doing programs like this that we so graciously thank the city of Fort Oglethorpe for letting us do this. If you're not registered, you don't know. You don't have to be a member of our post. I don't care who you are. If you're a veteran, you walk in that door, I'm there to serve you. I am a volunteer. I've been offered twice since back in the first of the summer a job at a certain area to do service officer work, and I told them flat out, no, I'm not going to do this for money, because when you start taking a payday to do this, you've got to do what they say. You can't tell the truth, and I don't like not telling the truth to my veterans. If you're not here to help a veteran, then I ain't got no time to waste with you. And I told the whole Georgia State Convention that, and it got awful quiet. It's just that simple. I'm the VAVS officer for North Georgia. The North Georgia area now, this is something a lot of people don't know, is Whitfield, Walker, Catoosa, Dade County, and northwest Alabama is all assigned to the Tennessee Valley healthcare system, which is Nashville and Murfreesboro. You don't have to go to Atlanta. You don't have to. Now, if you file a claim and you're for service connection, you may have to go down in that area for the QTC exams from an outside source doctor. It's not a doctor that's even involved with the VA. But that's a little price to pay for a certain person. If I could, if I was to just say a couple of things, everybody know who I was talking about that knows him. But his head's as hard as this floor I'm walking on. Took me over 2 years to get him to file a claim. He had neuropathy, diabetes, and a couple of little small things wrong with him that was all service connected from Vietnam. And I filed a claim for him, and it kind of shocked me. It come back in like 8-9 months at 70%. I'm not going to go into the figure that is, because I'm not sure. The new book's got it in it, and I don't want to quote it, but it's a lot of money every month, tax-free. If you've got diabetes, that's going to pay you something from $300 up. It's according to how many things is wrong with you. You know, I don't know how they can get a man at 140% and pay him at 70, but they do it. I don't know how the government figures these things out, but if you've never filed, or if you've got questions to ask, come on in and see us. The place is usually covered up on Thursday morning, but we get to everybody. We've got a lot of good men that come in up there that are there to help the veterans. We got, and coming up the 2nd, which is when, Saturday? Come out to Benton Place, the Colonnade, the Citizens and Veterans Memorial, Catoosa County, the only one named Citizens Veterans Memorial in the whole country that I know of. They're going to have a program out there starting early that morning. We're going to be out there giving out water to the runners. Bill and I are just too old and ugly to be running, but we can sure give out water to these young folks and all the people that want to come out. And if there's any elderly people, you know, not like me and him, we're not able. But please come out and enjoy this, because we're going to give the awards to the Veterans of the Year for Walker County, Catoosa County, the Citizen Veteran Supporters of the Year for Walker and Catoosa, and the people of out there at the Veterans Memorial put a lot of work into this program, and a lot of people put a lot of volunteer hours into it and all. And I'd love to see the whole city of Fort Oglethorpe out there to watch this one. It's going to be something. It's going to be it's going to start early Saturday morning, so it won't run into nightfall, you know, like it did the last couple of years. And maybe if we can get Paul Barish to do it right, maybe we'll get a beautiful day Saturday to have this thing. And please come out and join us. And that's all I've got to say. Just please come up and see us if you've got questions. And if you'll be quiet, Bill, we'll call it a day.
Fine with me. Remember, veterans, come out and see us. Pray for this country. Pray for the veterans. May God bless America.
Amen.